up, RotoGrinders? Happy Friday. My apologies. This is my bad. It's all on me. Technical issue on my part for being a few minutes late. But whose music is that? Whose music is playing? I could not believe it. I had to do a double take looking at the schedule today. Old friend of the show. You know him from the Six Pack. That is the Six Pack music playing. It's Beer Maker's fan, dude. It's been I feel like it's been a long time since we've done a GrindersLive show. Of course, we've done some stuff on Sirius, and always see each other in the social streets as well. But Beer, welcome. How unprofessional of me to not start on time. My apologies. For Chop, it's not a big deal. Whatever. We can lower the bar for Chop, but for Beer on a Friday night, I feel terrible. Welcome.
Hey, Dean, I'm just happy you made it. We're not worried about the background. Is the information good? Yes. So good to be back. It's been a lot of years since I've been on GrindersLive. So figured Mike Tyson tonight, and we'll bring another old guy here into the show here tonight. But excited to talk some hoops with my boys. We've known each other forever. Looks like we got a good crowd going already. So I appreciate you guys having me in here on Friday night.
2/3 of the OG podcasts, yourself and Chop. RIP to the OG podcast. Noto, of course, was the other component there. He's on Wednesday nights with Stevie. He's on Saturdays with Kirkwood and Bobby. Shout out Bobby. He took down a bunch of money in Showdown last night. I don't know if Bobby Gomes is lurking in the streets, but I saw him post. He had a big night there last night. That's today's poll, by the way. It's got to be today's poll. The fight. Are we watching the fight? Are we betting the fight? Who's going to win the fight? I guess the poll is, are you watching? Yes or no, and who wins? So you kind of put those together. I'm not proud to say, but I'm probably going to watch the fight. I'm kind of embarrassed, but I like a good circus every once in a while. Maybe we can have producer Steve drop that poll and chat for the people. Chop, how about yourself? It's right around the corner for you. Well, in the same state, at least. It's going down in Texas. We'll talk about the NBA slate in just a second, obviously, but I'm sure you have a thought. Are you wagering legally or otherwise on the Mike Tyson throwing punches in the year 2024?
Sure, why not, Dean? Listen, the smart money is coming in on Paul. The smart money. The majority of the tickets are on Tyson. That's the general public. So I'm on the wrong side because I'm on Tyson. I know it's not a good bet, but I've just been waiting for Jake Paul to get smashed in, man. I'm just waiting. I want it to happen. So I got to go with my boy Tyson. I just got to. I'm going to watch it, and I will watch it. I'm going to do it. I'll probably tune into that, and hopefully that's things over with before Houston starts. The Cougars college football, they got a West Coast game out there in Arizona. Don't kick off till 9:30 tonight Central Time, 10:30 Eastern. So hopefully the boxing's over with, and I can go straight into that. That'd be a great night.
You got a bet for the people, or are you just watching because you're a fan of Houston?
I'm just watching because I'm a fan, Dean. The bet, it's tough because both teams are coming off bye week, so I don't know. Houston had the momentum going into the bye week. Arizona was really struggling big time going into the bye week, but that bye week can iron things out, kill the Momo, and can iron out some problems. So I'm pretty neutral on it.
All right. By the way, you indirectly, Chop, you called me sharp, so thank you. I did bet on the YouTuber.
Dean, I'll give you one. I'll give you one real quick though, Dean. At 7 o'clock Central Time, right up the block here, UTSA plays North Texas. It's 72. I get it's a big number, but man, those two teams are gonna be very, very pass heavy, and they're gonna put up a lot of points. And UTSA's quarterback is left-handed. He's Josh McCown's son, Owen McCown. He can sling it.
I feel old.
He can sling it now. He's pretty good. So I'll take the over on that. Just sit down and watch it. Have a little action on it, Dean. You know what I'm saying? Shits and giggles, man. Nothing big.
You threw it out there, by the way, Beer. Who's winning the fight? There's a poll that's already started, and it's pretty divided right now. But do you have a winner? Any American dollars wagered on Tyson and Paul?
No, I'm going to leave it alone, not bet on it. I mean, as an old guy, I'm rooting for Tyson. I'm in Chop's camp here, but it feels like a setup for Jake Paul to win, and this will catapult him to this amazing boxing career or a potential rematch so they can cash in again. So it stinks, Dean. And as we say, anytime you're betting on anything, if the line stinks, something seems funky, I'm just
Sure.
going to stay away from it. I will watch it, but something doesn't seem right here, so I'll leave it alone betting wise.
One thing we do know is that the Joker's out tonight. He had a child. His wife had a child, so congratulations to him. Not playing basketball this evening in New Orleans. The in-season tournament rolls on. This is the second night of in-season tournament stuff, so the games do mean more. We'll see how the coaches feel about that. Point differential at some point is going to matter. As this tournament progresses, it tends to mean more and more to the teams that are still involved. Should mention, DK is still doing their thing as far as snipping off the slate. And I think it's a good call because there's so many games as is. And there's a huge break between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Memphis and Golden State, Minnesota, Sacramento, not on the DK slate. They are on the FanDuel slate. But, yeah, overview before we fully dive in here, Beer, as far as the slate tonight. Denver. Denver's going to be really popular. They're without their best player that does everything. And they have a good matchup versus New Orleans. So, Westbrook's going to be popping. Jamal Murray, I know he's kind of been up and down this year, a little bit better of late, terrible in the Olympics. Peyton Watson, it's going to be hard for me not to have a lineup without at least one Denver player and possibly 2 or 3. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, thoughts on that. We'll get to it, of course, when we get to the game-by-game stuff and just anything overview you want to mention before we do a little game-by-game.
No, I mean, Jokic is huge. Just so much opportunity usage is going to open up there. So obviously a team you're going to have to target. Now it's looking at potential ownership, upside, things like that. And, we're going to get into that game, but it almost feels like you have to have a few, but how many is too many Denver pieces? So ownership will be key for me there. There's some guys I'll probably avoid, and we'll get to that, and some that I want to target that maybe aren't drawing the ownership that they probably should here. So I'm not sure what's going on with my video, so hopefully the audio is good, and we're trying to figure out the video end.
You're on mute, Dean.
Geez, unbelievable. The show couldn't get any worse, but guess what? It did. Bad job by me. Unbelievable. But yeah, you sound perfect. Yeah, Chop, get me out of this. I'm terribly disappointed in myself. But yeah, what do you have? Anything you want to mention before we do the game?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to go game by game. There's just too much to break down. There's some massive, injuries, and I mean, right before we came on the air, DeMar DeRozan ruled out. By the way, I was all over DeMar on Wednesday night, and he left the game after 17 minutes, so that ruined that. But yeah, there's just so many big, and there's not just injuries; they're big injuries. So let's just go game by game and figure it out, man.
A lot of them are settled. Right? But we're still waiting for Claxton was just ruled out. Cat's a big one. I assume he's going to play. Anthony Towns, we'll see. But he's officially questionable. It's contusion. That usually means it's not too terrible. Mobley's questionable. He was ill last game, and he's ill again. And he played last game, not spectacularly. But we'll keep an eye on that one for the undefeated Cavs. DeRozan, of course, just on that FanDuel slate, but certainly does impact it. All right, very first game, Philadelphia taking on the Magic, 208.5. Speaking of injuries, well, I guess Embiid and PG-13, they're back, 208.5, by the way. That is the total. That is a very paltry total, not terribly exciting. Banchero, nothing new there. He's still out for Orlando. They are still 2-point favorites. We've seen McCain be awesome in the absence of George and Embiid, and good even when they're around, right? And we're expecting him to jump in that starting lineup and dethrone Kyle Lowry, who's been pretty washed. I think Drummond also was officially questionable, but that doesn't really matter a heck of a lot because Yabusele's probably ahead of him, with Embiid back, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. But yeah, Beer, your thoughts as far as Philly and Orlando, Wagner and Suggs and the rest of them are just kind of you never really know about the minutes. Bataze, you can tell yourself a story if he plays 28. Another story if you can get 25 out of Isaac, so there's an opportunity cost there. But they're going to need some size and some length and some girth there against Embiid. And if Drummond gets some run as well. But yeah, how do we feel about the Magic and the Sixers, Beer?
Not a ton to love in this game for me. I mean, McCain has been awesome. Orlando, very good defensively. They have struggled with point guards early in the season. So that's kind of your shining light, as they have had some issues there. Is he going to do what he did last game? No, the price is up. So he's interesting. He's not a guy that I must have in my lineups. Really tough to trust Embiid right now. We just don't know how many minutes he's going to play. So You nailed some of the value on Orlando. I think that could be a way you could look. Isaac, if he gets enough minutes, as you said, Batadze, Wagner down low, and then Franz Wagner been playing some good ball, but that price is really on the rise here. So not a game. I'm seeing a ton of action, maybe a little bit of McCain, maybe some value with Orlando, but certainly not something I'm seeking out tonight.
Yeah, the McCain thing's tricky because you're not sure how much he's going to get with Embiid and PG-13 back, and the price has bumped up a little bit, but like he could be still too cheap. We just don't know it just yet. Here, by the way, I'm curious, what are we playing these days in the DFS streets? I don't play a ton of lineups, so I tend to focus on the single entry stuff. Chop depends on the night. Sometimes he has a little bit of fun. He runs 150. What is how about yourself when you're talking about advice and analysis? Are you talking from a large field, like big, single entry, bigger entry? What is your approach as far as the slate tonight? How many lineups are you making?
More of the smaller field stuff for me. I'll still throw some entries into the bigger stuff just because, but usually the 3 max, 5 max, single entry type stuff. So generally 5 to 10 for me across all my entries. Some days I'll go crazy. Never been a 150 guy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of maintenance, and I got a lot of kids over here, so tough to pull that off. So generally in that 5 to 10 range, probably where I'll be again tonight.
Nobody in double digits right now currently as far as ownership on DK. The highest number is Jonathan Isaac. So again, this game probably not terribly popular. The total tells you that as well. Chop, any thoughts, anything you want to add? And also, are we having fun? Are we running 150 tonight? What are we doing?
Oh, no, Dean. I'm just going to do 10 lineups on DraftKings. I couldn't even touch FanDuel. They're throwing in the late games. I don't want to mess with that on a Friday night. It's movie night, Dean. I'm getting some pizza delivered here in a little bit.
Local? Please tell me local. This always angers me when you tell me you order like Little Caesars or Domino's.
You don't like Papa John's, man? Come on.
Pizza's always fine. It's a certain
pizza
bar.
Snobs. I don't know if this is. I think this is probably. It's called Marcos. They probably got them out there everywhere.
They're national.
Got good pizza. They're solid though. I'm not like pizza's pizza to me, man. But you get the point, Dean. I'm getting a little pizza. You got movie lined up, whatever. I actually don't have it lined up. I'll look when we get off here, but. So I don't want to be back and forth. It's tough, man. NBA is a grind. So I'm just going to do 10 lineups tonight in large field and be done with it.
You got that sneaky Detroit pizza, right? Is that something you want to tell?
Oh, Detroit style. This is spreading nationwide now. I'm sure everybody knows Detroit style, but there are some fantastic spots here. Yes, we have Marcos. So Chop, that is a chain. I thought you'd come better than a chain pizza.
Thank you.
Maybe go out and search out some Detroit-style pizza, and then you really have a night.
Okay, time out now.
Two-time millionaire winner Chopper.
Wait. Let's not. All right, here's the problem I have is those places don't deliver. There's some good pizza places around here, but they don't deliver. And Dean, you were the one who used to get on me every single day. You go to Redbox. How do you leave your house when you can just get the movie at your house streamed? Now you used to get on me. So you can't have it both ways. I can't. I don't want to leave the house to go get pizza, and I cannot support Uber Eats and DoorDash. And all. I can't stand those places. I can't stand those businesses. I just don't. So I don't support them at all. So if you don't deliver, I'm probably not getting your food.
All right, fair enough. Do you have a child that can go out and pick it up, or I don't know what your kids are driving?
Let me tell you, I have one kid old enough with a license.
Okay,
I've got a better chance squeezing water out of a rock than getting that kid to go do anything in the car, man. Lazy kids these days, they don't want to do nothing but look at their phone in the room.
All right, let's move on. Miami Heat. They're taking on the Pacers. Pacers are 5-point favorites here. No Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler's out. Nikola Jovic expected to play despite the fact he's got a nose. He got a nose that was busted open. I think he's going to be wearing one of those face mask shields. Indy is nothing new as far as the Pacers here, Chop. Bam looks pretty good to me, although he's not been good this year. He just hasn't. Tyler Hero's been spectacular. He was amazing last game, and in part, the Spo calling that timeout kind of blew that game. It was a tie game. Who knows what would happen in double overtime. But yeah, Hero was insane. Went nuts there in the fourth quarter. I think he hit 6 threes, if I'm not mistaken. But for me, Miami, it's about Hero and Bam. Rozier's got a pretty good price on FanDuel. I would shout that out. FanDuel specific play. I think he's 5'7". We always say whenever a player is cheaper in FanDuel than they are on DK, they're probably a good value. He's 6'1" on DK, 5'7" on FanDuel. Not that Rozier is great these days, but still a pretty decent price. Chop, what do you got? Heat, Pacers.
So this game is gathering some good ownership here, and I think it's for a good reason. So there's a lot of plays in this game you can go to. I think I will start off in the Indiana side. We mentioned it last show. I did. Mathurin looks good this year. Remember, he got his rookie year cut short by the injury. His game, his style, what he does best on the court, like, is perfect for Indiana. So I think he's just going to continue to put up these, as long as he's healthy, he's just going to continue to put up these solid games. So Mathurin, I'll be overweight on him compared to even the field's going to have him at 20-ish%. So I like that one.
24 currently on DK.
All right. I won't go to him tonight, but you can always go to Miles Turner. You know, he's always in play with his double upside. Halliburton is a guy at $8,000 now on DraftKings. I can actually support getting down to Halliburton in that mid-range. I like that one. I'll be over on that one. Siakam's always in play. It's the flip side. We're getting a lot of ownership on Bam. I'll be under on that one for a lot of the reasons you said. But the one guy I do want to point out in here is Tyler Hero, who I'll try to get him 10 lineups. If he's 10% owned, I'll go like 3 lineups and try to get him 3 times the field. You know, his game this year has taken off. It's been very good, Dean. I guess he's getting those analytic people in his ear, and they're pointing him in the right direction, right? Because like, he's totally abandoned his mid-range inefficient shots, and he's getting to the rim, and he's shooting good 3-pointers now, and it's changed up his entire game offensively.
Still just 24 Hero, right? Still pretty young. A lot of people said the Heat might have overpaid for him, and I'm not sure. Like it depending on the game, but I like the fact keep on firing away from 3 because 3 is greater than 2. I don't love those mid-range shots. You mentioned DeRozan earlier. Shout out to DeMar. He's still doing his thing from 19, 20 feet. Beer, the Heat and the Pacers. Anything to add? Anybody you want to, dispute with Chop? But I think it's pretty clear who the pieces are in this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in lockstep with Chop on this one. Love Mathurin tonight. I think he's underpriced, really playing a role with some of the injuries there, with some of their guards. So starting to look like the guy we saw in college. It took a while, and now he's really starting to find his own here. So he's my primary target for the Pacers. Miami side, I'm surprised to see the ownership on Hero. Now, we're not buying it another 70-point performance here, but no Jimmy Butler. He's going to have to provide a lot of offense for this team. So I was a little surprised to see that ownership down around 10%. So price is up. It's tough to pay that price without a ton of great value on this slate. We're going to talk Denver, and that'll open some things up. But Hero stands out. Rozier, I think, is another option that I'm looking at here tonight. So mainly Mathurin, a little bit of Hero. I agree on Bam. He projects well, but that's a lot of ownership on Bam out of Bayou. So I think there's better ways to go at the center position tonight. So Hero, some Mathurin, a little bit of Rozier, pretty much it for me out of this one.
I will say the game kind of caters to him, right? The Pacers are not a great rebounding team. So Bam, of course, can thrive in that spot. And the minutes have been outrageous for him. No less than 39, exactly 39. In 2 of the last 3, the other one, of course, went overtime. I believe he played 44 minutes. So, do not expect 39, but there's a chance. And again, it's the in-season stuff, right? These teams are going to want to get W's on the board. Let's go ahead and move on. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and come up with an impromptu. We didn't do this on Monday. I don't know why. Why did we do this Monday? There's some reason why we didn't do it Monday. But for the very first time ever, you're going to be telling your kids, you're going to tell your grandkids that you were here. You watched it when it happened. If you love Movie Monday, if you love Fleet Thursday, it's a Film Friday. We're going to do a Film Friday. That's what we're going to do. A Film Friday. And if you're not sure how to play Film Friday, I'll explain. It's the exact same as Movie Monday. It's just today's Friday, and it's not Monday. It's the exact same rules. You jump in the Discord channel. You tell me what movie I'm talking about. We get 5 individual clues. We'll go ahead and start dropping those clues momentarily as I create the game on the fly. I'm sure it's going to be a spectacular game, and the people will never complain about my clues. But after each clue drop, just go ahead and jump in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. Some of our Discord channels are members only, but most of them are free. This one is free. The very first clue we're going to drop is Sit. Sit is the first clue. Tell me what movie we're talking about. And Chop, if you know it, I know you like to play along, you like the home version. If you just don't ruin the game for the people. And Beer, I know we're probably catching you off guard as well. But feel free to answer in our private chats. I know you guys probably both know it right off that clue. Sit, you know exactly what movie we're talking about, but that is the first clue, as I tell producer Steve, what movie I just came up with. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our next game. It is Detroit and Toronto. We'll drop the next clue soon enough. 224 is the total. Toronto is a 2-point dog here versus the Pistons. Injury report, I think it's pretty standard, right? I was just writing this down before the show. I think nothing. Oh, no. That Jaden Ivey, questionable. Yep. So THJ, he hit the court hard, really hard. I assume he's still concussed. Last we saw, he is doubtful. Simone Fontecchio is also doubtful. So then, yeah, man, if you were on board for the Malik Beasley revenge tour, back-to-back games where he revenged against Miami, revenged against good Lord, who was it against? Milwaukee? Was that who it was? Against
my Bucks.
Oh, Beer, your Bucks. You guys are going to overtime, against the Detroit team. It's sputtering. And I know Giannis had to put up a 60-burger for them to win in overtime. And also the rookie had to miss 2 free throws for Detroit as well. But yeah, good for your Bucks. Are you scared of all these rumors of Giannis wanting to move out, or is that all nonsense? Is that all noise, Beer?
I don't think it's noise. I think this change to Doc Rivers has clearly been a disaster. Bringing in Damian Lillard really thinned out the rest of the lineup. You're missing the glue guy, the Drew Holidays, the PJ Tuckers, the guys that helped you get there. I was actually at a game a couple weeks ago, went back home and seeing some of the guys on the floor, Dean. It's like, who are these? Andre Jackson and AJ Green gave me throwbacks to the old Bengals days, and it's just a mess. So I'm almost at the point, as much as I love Giannis, and it's tough to say, but blow it up. Get what you can get for him before he just walks. Oof. I'm sure somebody will take Damian Lillard, and you start over. You had your run. You got 1 title. This is a mess. So if they keep Doc Rivers, I don't see this thing going anywhere. So, yeah, when you're struggling at home to beat the Pistons, and it takes Ron Holland missing 2 free throws somehow at the end of the game, it's not a good scene. So, a lot of people are happy with Giannis over on DK. Their king of the court is back, and he put up about 85 points, rebounds, and assists. So a lot of bonus bets handed out, but yeah, it's been a mess for sure.
I don't know what that is, by the way, king of the court. Is that a sports betting thing? Because I don't have DK sports betting in my states. Okay, is that what it is? Okay, that's why I don't know.
So basically, you place a bet on any player, any bet. The bet doesn't even have to win. I think it's a $5 or more bet, and whatever player, if you bet on them, and they're the most PRAs for the night, they split up a bunch of bonus bets amongst anybody that had that player. So kind of a cool promotion, but Giannis, I think it came down to like $60 out of like $1 million in bonus bets. So everybody bets the big dogs. You don't get a much edge on it.
All right, Beer, talking about Detroit and Toronto. Tobias Harris getting a fair bit of ownership. I think that Beasley could get elevated if, again, we have currently right now, Ivy we're projecting him in, but he is questionable. That certainly could change things. Second best player there in Detroit. Of course, you got the salary. Cunningham has been spectacular this year. Toronto and the Pistons. What do you got me, Beer?
More so on the Detroit side for me here. I mean, we can make a case for RJ Barrett having to handle this offense. Jakob Poeltl has been solid. His price certainly on the rise as well. So it's Detroit for me. Starts and ends with Cade Cunningham. I mean, this guy's just been phenomenal. Gets it done in so many ways. Yes, he can go out there and score, but the rebounds, the assists, he can rack up a ton of stats. So he's my starting point with the Pistons. This Ivy news, certainly important. As you mentioned, for Malik Beasley, yes, he's had some revenge games, but he's going to have to play minutes. They're dealing with a lot of other injuries. He's getting up a ton of shots, and that's the thing. You don't get a whole lot outside of the shooting, but if that 3 is falling, he can certainly crush this salary. So he's another guy that I'm looking at tonight. I'm intrigued with Jalen Duren. Just doesn't look right, coming back from some of the issues. So don't love the matchup with Poeltl. So mainly Cade Cunningham for me. Beasley, as I said, in Toronto, really struggling to get there on anybody outside of RJ Barrett, and even him. I just think he's a little bit too expensive right now.
Chopper?
Yeah, I see some ownership coming up here for Tobias Harris and Davion Mitchell a little bit, some Cade Cunningham. And I'm about the only one in this game I'm looking for is the Cade Cunningham. If I even go that route at 93, he's getting up there now. although he deserves it, so that's fine. But that's the highest price of the year, and it's by a pretty wide margin for his price tag. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get there. Man, I can't even go that route, Dean. You know what I was gonna say, brother? Like you can always go with Gravy Dick, but I mean, it's 6,300. He's up there in price tag, and
life comes at you fast, man.
Man, I remember back in the day, we were just doing this show 3 weeks ago, and the guy was freaking 4K, man. So
we got an if-then setup. If Ivy doesn't go, Cunningham would have a DK projection of around 54 points, 51 FanDuel, Tobias around 37, and Beasley around 30-ish. So I think he will become a pretty playable option as well in the mid-tier, still just 5'2". So, yeah, we want to keep our eyes on that. If you guys happen to see any news break, by all means, let me know. I know people in the chat sometimes help out. Try my best to multitask and bounce all over the place, but I've not seen any news just yet as far as Detroit. Let's go ahead and give the second clue, which I've yet to even tell. I've not told producer Steve, but the second clue for, again, first time ever, Film Friday. Second clue, luck. Sit and luck. That is our first two clues. Let me know in the Discord. We'll get you a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. First person to tell me what movie I'm talking about. One guess per clue drop. You cannot MME with the guessing. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. It's the Wiz. The Wiz taking on the Hawks. Big boy total, not messing around. 241 and a half. Atlanta is a 9-point favorite. It'd probably be a bigger favorite if Trae Young wasn't playing because he's not good for this team. Trae Young is back for the Hawks. Also, DeAndre Hunter is off the injury report. I don't know how much he's actually going to play, but worth noting, I don't think we've seen it all season long. He's been dealing with that leg. That's just really been bothering him, so I don't know how many minutes they can get out of him. But, yeah, there you go. Worth noting both those guys back. Of course, Trae Young being the big deal. Dyson Daniels, who gets like 19 steals per game. The Wizards are big boy dogs here. We saw pool party happen last time out here, Chopper. We saw Jalen Johnson triple-dub. He was essentially playing like it was Point Johnson. He was spectacular. The price, of course, is certainly elevated. Matchup is fine. Certainly. Yeah, sure. Big boy total. How do we feel about the Hawks and the Wizards, Chop?
Hawks and Wizards, Dean. Trae Young being back kind of throws a monkey wrench into the Atlanta plan, so I'm not really on them that much. I mean, like what are we? The Dyson Daniels is 65. I can't do that one. Trae kind of takes enough away from Jalen Johnson that 8,900 doesn't appeal to me as much. On the flip side over there, maybe on the Washington side, in this particular matchup, Jonas Valanciunas. That's about the one I'm probably going to get the most exposure to in this game. Other than that, I'm just not seeing a whole lot else in this game that I can really get behind. There's just some of these prices are outrageous, and some of these guys on both teams, Kuzma's back, Trae Young's back. It just kind of throws everything into mediocrity.
How much do you trust the minutes for Valanciunas? Because we're projecting 20, and like he could play 25 or he could play 18, and the other centers too. It's certainly volatile. Like both of them are going to be really good per minute. Actually, all three, right? Okongwu, Capella, Joval. I fully trust that all three will be good like per minute. I just don't know how many minutes will be delegated. Yeah. Like we're giving 20 to Joe Val, and he projects okay at 20 minutes, Chop. So he's going to get at least like 17, 18, and he's got a chance for getting 25, right?
Well, that's why this is GPP. I'm not playing him in a cash game if I had that kind of lineup, but yeah, if we can get him 25 minutes, he'll crush. He always does, and you're just kind of hoping that Atlanta plays a lot of Clint Capella and keeps him on the court a little bit longer, and that's how you get there. But that's just GPP. Well, so there's these range of outcomes, Dean, all this other stuff that happens in the NBA. You can't just go by that median projection all the time. I gotta load lineups up with guys who can really outperform that projection, and he's just one of those guys. So that's why he's always going to be one of my fan favorites for DFS.
Beer, what do you got? It feels a little strange. I mean, if you didn't know anything else, a game has a 240 total, and every player, it's close, but every player has a single-digit projection as far as ownership as of right now. Some guys are on the fringe, but it just seems a little strange. I sort of get it, nature of the slate, but it feels like there's some opportunities here potentially. What are your thoughts as far as Washington and Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm a little bit more optimistic than Chop over here, disparaging Trae Young. I mean, this guy has 2 games against Washington. He's had some solid games, 67, I think like a 45. Shot 2 of 15 in that game and still had 45 DraftKings points. So clearly an up-tempo good matchup for him. Easy to get up to him as well. And you're not contending with Giannis, Luka, Jokic. There's not as many studs that you're trying to outscore tonight. So I think he's one of the better spends on the higher end. I also like Ricochet. Now, this one's more of a GPP, tough to trust in cash games just with the up and down nature of his game. But the only thing that could hurt him, Hunter, playing some minutes. I'm with you, Dean. I don't know how many he's really going to play. We haven't projected for 25. That may be a little bit high. So I like his ceiling in tournaments. I'm staying away from all the centers in this game. The Hawks splitting the minutes, the 20 minutes for Valanciunas. It's just not enough. There's just not enough there. So on the Washington side, I think Carrington still a solid option under 6,000. There's people asking about Jordan Poole in the chat. I'm not buying Jordan Poole. Kuzma back to me is the primary option here. So not a lot of interest in the Washington side, which, like I said, is weird. Huge total game. You think we'd have a lot more interest, but really boils down to Trae Young as a spend for me, Ricochet, and then a little bit of Carrington on the other side for Washington.
Yeah, Atlanta does give up the most made threes in the league by a good margin, by almost 2 per game, 16.8 per game. So, like, I'm not crossing out Poole. He's not cheap, but he certainly can hit 6 or 7 or 8 threes. And like, it's not that I think Young is a bad DFS player. Of course, he's a great DFS player. I just don't know how good he is to actually help your team win. Like, I would not want, if I was a Hawks fan, I don't want to build my franchise around this guy. I don't think you're going anywhere. Fun, like he's a fun player, take some fun shots, but there's defense matters.
We're not playing real life basketball here, Dean. We're not building the Atlanta Hawks. We're building winning DFS lineups, and in that sense, I want some Trae Young. If I'm building the team, I'm with you 100%. But tonight, I think he's a solid play.
You don't want Giannis for Trae Young, is what you're saying?
No, absolutely not. You better come stronger than that. That's not even getting the conversation started.
Jalen Johnson and Trae Young.
Jalen, I'll take. Now Ricochet. Now we're getting somewhere. Add a bunch of draft picks, and maybe we're talking. But
I did jump in the Discord. Nobody's answered it just yet. As far as tonight's Film Friday, it's not Stand By Me. Or
Dean, did I get it? Look in the private chat, Dean. Did I get it? Or tell me yes or no so I can stop.
You did not. You did not. So as a general rule, Chop, I'm not going to give you the second clue. Is not going to be a word in the actual movie. That's just. I
figured that.
I can't spoon feed it to you, but I hear the guess. With that, we'll go ahead, and I'm coming up with this in the fly. So my apologies. This might not be my best one, but we'll see. We'll make it work. Clue number 1: sit. 2, luck. 3, infant. Infant is clue number 3. Infant is clue number 3. It is not Roadhouse, Philly Laker. A Score to Settle is being guessed. It's not that. It's definitely not that movie. I can't say. Or Turner and Hooch. Spectacular dog movie. It is not Baby Driver either, but I see what you're doing there. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. The Knicks, battle New York. Not really, right? Don't they play? Well, Brooklyn, yeah. All right, 216 is, I guess they're in New York now, right? Yeah, 216 is the total. Not a very appealing number. New York is a 9-point favorite. We don't know about Cat unless something changed in the last so many minutes. Last we saw, he is questionable with that knee. Rui Hachimura, by the way, downgraded to doubtful on that FanDuel slate. Jaden Ivey, thanks for nothing. Game time decision. Joel Embiid expects to see his minutes increase Friday per Coach Nurse. I don't know if he can handle, but he played 26 last time, so maybe he plays 30 or so this evening. Adjust everything. All right, Chop, talk to me about New York and Brooklyn. No Claxton, by the way, for Brooklyn, which is kind of important for the foreseeable future, like a week plus, I think.
New York and Brooklyn. All right, so let's start off on the Brooklyn side. This is big brother versus little brother, Dean, but at the price tag right now, I think Ben Simmons is my favorite play on the Brooklyn side, and I think I'm going to have plenty of Ben Simmons. I don't look now, but he's been playing better. let's see, he's 11-1 about the last couple of weeks. The games he's played in, he's been much better. So I know he's still not getting the big minutes, but that's, you're only 4,800. You have some upside at that price tag, even in the limited minutes. 25 minutes are fine there. So Ben Simmons on that side, not sure I'm getting very much else from that particular side of it. Even though the Knicks are very bad on defense, they're not playing good defense right now. I probably want more pieces on the Knicks side of it. And to be honest, at this point, I'm going to be way over on Karl Anthony Towns. He's having an MVP caliber season, Dean. It's only 4 weeks in. I mean, look at you get rid of that first game or so where he was I guess maybe he was a little bit nervous coming out the gate. He's picked it up, man. He's crushed. Okay, you know what? He's not a real life MVP, I guess. Probably more of a fantasy MVP kind of guy. He's just putting up numbers, man. He's not going to play enough defense probably, although the MVP voters probably don't care about that. But he's a good fantasy player. He's a great fantasy player right now. He's just putting up massive numbers in this system. He's always put up good numbers when he gets the time on the court. A lot of his years out in Minnesota, he got cut short on minutes. They didn't want him playing the crunch time in the fourth quarter or something like that. Tibbs will run him out there until he can't walk no more. So we're reaping the benefits. And at 91, I'll just keep playing this guy against weaker competition until that price tag goes up to about 10K, and then you can really start to adjust.
All right. Oh, somebody in chat, by the way, said it was the Bridges revenge game. I don't know if this is first blood or not, but there you go. Bridges getting his revenge. We shall see. Stay tuned for that. Williams has been doing really good for Brooklyn, but I guess with DFS back, what are we projecting as far as his minutes? Because he's been thriving. And, of course, the price has changed a little bit too. He's now 4-1. We're only giving him 24 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I guess he was excellent for at least a couple games there. But otherwise, again, not a very popular game that I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing just one player, Cat, currently questionable again. We assume he's going to play at 11%. Here, my apologies. Did you speak on this game? I don't know if you did or did not.
I have not, but happy to jump in
what's
here.
to say?
Yeah, I mostly on the Knicks side. I don't mind the Simmons call. I think it's a fair price with his all-around game. Claxton not there. Maybe he plays a little bit down low. Gathers a little bit more. The ancillary stats, we know he's never going to go out and score 25, 30 points. So you need them rebounds and assists. So could tick up a little bit there. But I love Karl Anthony Towns here tonight. So I'm with Chop, especially with that Q tag. So all the early builders going to kind of avoid him. The more this news takes, his ownership likely doesn't get to where it should be. He's going to be owned, the highest owned guy in this game, but is it as high as it should be at the way he's been playing? So love him. And if he's out, I think you go to guys like OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, because they probably go smaller. I think there's some people that'll go to Jericho Sims, try to make that a thing, but I think they just run a small lineup here, especially if the Nets are going to be having Simmons down low. This makes me really want to play more OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, guys like that. Plus, this in-season tournament, whatever the hell they're calling it now, Dean. I don't even know the official
Emirates Cup or NBA Cup. Yeah, they got a sponsorship.
Okay.
You got to pay the players $500,000. Somebody's got to sponsor it. That's just how that goes, I suppose.
So we know the Knicks are going to play their starters regardless. Now you add this on top of it. We know they're going to play a pile of minutes. So really love those mid-range guys, the OG Anunobys, the Josh Harts. If Towns is out, I think it's a nice boost for Brunson, who has not been as good as he was last season. I'm going to have to take on a lot more scoring here. And I don't mind the Mikal Bridges revenge narrative. I'm always a revenge narrative guy. So the Knicks, certainly a team I'm building on. And OG Anunoby, my favorite. Karl Anthony Towns, if he's in, I think he's a lock and load as well.
All right, let's move on. Our next game is the Bulls. The Bulls and the Cavs. By the way, our update on Cat was no update, just game time. But we're operating as if that game is going to go. We shall see. 238. That is a monster total for sure. A lot of those numbers are going to the Cavs because they are undefeated. They are good at basketball. They are 10-point favorites tonight versus the Bulls. It's really tricky, right? With Mobley, he's questionable again with an illness. He played last game, I guess, through it. He wasn't playing very well. We've seen Jared Allen not play very well these past few games. They gave him a leg a couple days ago, but he played through that. This is an amazing matchup for like a Jared Allen type because the Bulls are the most vulnerable team in the paint in all the NBA. At least they were last time I checked. They're top 2 or top 3. Of course, they play super fast as well. Top 2 or top 3 in pace. Additionally, Mitchell's great. People just don't really play him, but like I guess because it's like he's got to score like 35 or 40 points because he's not a great peripheral guy, but he can do that. Beer, Cavs, Bulls. How do we feel about this one?
Kind of waiting on the Mobley news. It would make Allen a lot more interesting. Guys like Dean Wade would enter the conversation. I'm not going there. I don't think there's enough upside in a guy like Dean Wade. So Allen, for me, is pretty much it on the Cleveland side. Chicago side, I love these guards, Dean, but when they're all healthy, it's really tough to parse through. Is it going to be Giddey? Is it going to be White? Is it going to be Levine? So Levine being my favorite. I just think the ceiling is higher with him. Scoring wise, I think there's good value here with Williams. Probably not going to Vooch in this spot. So another game. I don't think there's a ton here. I think you could fill some salary with a guy like Williams. Maybe last spot in one of these Bulls guards. And if Mobley's out, then Allen becomes a lot more interesting. But not my favorite game on the slate.
Yeah, Allen, I want to see him post a good game, right? He's been bad for 3 games in a row, kind of 4 games in a row. He hasn't had a usable score for you. But this does seem like a spot. Like I feel like the price is not adjusted to him not playing so great, but maybe, especially if Mobley doesn't go. And I am on the socials trying to see if they get any news about this. Devin Vassell coming off the bench. That's all we have. Nothing as far as the Cavs just yet. Chop, jump in here.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in, Dean, and check the chat and see if I got it right. But I don't think I did. I'm just taking wild guesses here. Zach LaVine.
It is not Baby's Day Out. I'll just for everybody, if you're playing along, it's not Baby's Day Out.
All right. Okay. I'll just wait for the next clue. I was going to ask a question, but I'll just wait for the next clue. That's how the game plays. Levine, that's fine. Levine's probably my guy for Chicago, not my guy overall. But if I was going to take a player on Chicago, it'd probably be Levine. So I like that call right there. On the other side over there, like Beer said, going to need some news here, but obviously a matchup with Chicago is great for anybody in this mix here. So, you obviously got to worry about them keeping it close enough, though, and your guys getting their fourth quarter rotation turn. That could be an issue. That's the only thing. Otherwise, I'm a Donovan Mitchell guy this year. 8,200 still doesn't look like enough, man, to cover what he's capable of doing. 60-point DK games in back-to-back games. That tells you he's got that kind of upside. You gladly take anything in that neighborhood at 8,200 and win a GPP with it. So that's probably my guy for Cleveland right there until we get some other news on who's in and who's out.
Let me go ahead and drop clue number 4, Chop, and maybe you can ask your question as well. If nobody gets nobody gets it. What do you got? Oh, you piecing it together? You got it?
No, but I saw the in chat Butthole says Hangover 4 or Hangover. And that got me thinking, there is an infant in Hangover, and I don't know. So, is it? It's not Hangover, is it? No.
Is that your official guess? I mean, if it was, it would just ruin the game. But thankfully, it's not.
No, then Butthole would get all the rewards for it.
No, he would get 0 rewards because Butthole is answering only in YouTube. And as per the rules, it's very clear. There's not a lot of rules.
I would override that. But Butthole is a friend of the show, and if he gets it right, he gets it right no matter where it's at. So, no, I'd override you on that one. He gets his
free you would have to get him the premium. I'll give
him a free month premium out of my pocket is what I do. If that's the right guess, I'll give you free month out of my pocket.
There you go.
No, it's not out of his pocket. He's just going to call some. He's just going to
I know it ain't, but hey, even that he's offering that should be worth something.
Chop trying to pretend like he's a man of the people. Sometimes. Yeah, he is.
Clue 4, Dean, I need it. Now are we getting to the point where you're going to be dropping like a piece of the title yet, or is it just still just clues?
Again, I'm
just asking, Dean. Don't get mad at me.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah, okay,
cash is the next clue. Cash,
cash money.
Well, that's a thing.
Like cash, catch or like. Cash.
Oh, CASH. Are you asking about the spelling? Yeah, CASH. Yeah,
okay,
cash.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Can I submit a guess? You
can guess in the chat.
I just want to guess live on air. I don't want to go to Discord.
What if somebody actually hears you guess the correct answer, and that's whoever regurgitates it fastest?
Okay. All right.
But,
this may have been guessed already, but
Chop, it is not Raising Arizona. It is not Cocktail or Adventures in Babysitting or The Color of Money. Beer did guess it right, by the way. Beer, first time playing ever. First time ever playing, Film Friday. And Beer, you know what? I'll hook you up. I'll juice you up. You need a week free of RG Premium? I'll get you a month. How about that?
How about we hand it out to somebody here on the show? Let's do that.
If you want to pick your favorite chatter from YouTube, by all means, make it work. Yeah, so nobody's guessed it just yet officially in the Discord, but Beer nailed it. We still have, I believe, 4 games. Crunch time coming about 25 minutes or so. 4 games in the DK main slate. Crunch time handles the last 2 games there as far as FanDuel. Let's talk about the Lakers. The Lakers and the Spurs. This is a fun one. This is the first half, I believe, of the ESPN doubleheader. Wemby, the future. LeBron, the greatest player of all time. This is the passing of the torch, if you want to call it that. Anthony Davis, of course, really good at basketball as well. We do have we're projecting Connect to draw the start here for the Lakers because Rui not officially out, but he is doubtful. He was downgraded to doubtful. As far as big spends go, Wemby certainly in the conversation. Davis in the conversation. SGA, we'll talk about him soon enough as well. But yeah, Beer, this is a fun one for sure. If you're watching the games, Wemby at home, taking on the Lakers. Vassell coming off the bench as per the note there on the Twitter. How do we feel about the Lakers and the Spurs?
Really like Wemby here. And it's not just he had a good game the other night. It's, the ceiling and a showdown spot. This is a young player trying to take the mantle, Dean, basically to replace LeBron James. So a spotlight game, I think we see the best of Wemby, which would be tough to top the other night here. But I think he has a big game. The projection seems a little bit light to me. I know he doesn't grade out very well, but a big spotlight game here. I'd expect to see the best out of him. So easy to get to him. I know 11-1 generally can be tough, but value is galore on this slate. So once we talk Denver, you'll see a lot of things open up, and we'll give you some other values along the way. But he's a guy like Castle is very interesting to me as well. Kind of a cheaper piece here. Lakers, I want to like Dalton Connect, Dean. I really do. And he's had some good games, and I think he will be a nice piece for this team. But consistency in the minutes, the production, is he going to shoot 5 for 5 again from deep? Hard to say here. So probably a pass for me there. So more so on the Spurs side for me. I'm spending up on Wemby, and I like Castle in the mid-range. Lakers, don't mind Davis. I generally don't play a ton of LeBron James these days. So I'm mostly staying away from the Lakers tonight.
Yeah, the Connect thing is basically if he's playing well, if he's making his threes, he'll stick out there. But who knows? There's really no way of guessing. Like you said, he's not going to go 5 for 5. I'll say that pretty confidently. But is he playing well enough to stick? There is a spot there with with Rui being not officially out, but likely out, officially doubtful. And we know that Redick doesn't seem to be a big fan of Russell so far either. Beer, do you want to give or Chop? You had a question, right? Didn't you have a question as far as? Oh, now Chop knows the answer though. You saw the answer, right, Chop? For today's film Friday.
Chop's devastated that I got him.
I would have never guessed that, man. Because I thought your clues were doing something else there. I thought you were going somewhere else. That's on me. I took you at your word, Dean. I think you lied to me. I think you misled me about the clues, but that's fine. It is good.
I misled you, but I led Beer right to the answer. But I gave you the same exact clues.
Because Beer's kind of fresh here. He's
got fresh eyes.
He probably doesn't play along at home when we do it otherwise. So he's like the clues.
Or maybe sneakily I do, Chop. So I came in season ready to go.
Maybe Dean's patterns, and I'm the one who's dragging behind. Yeah, I would have never guessed that one, but.
Beer, do you think you have a clue for the people? Maybe, Beer. I don't want to put you on the spot. I don't have a fifth clue. I can.
Give him a good clue, Beer.
Don't just give it right to him, but
a real clue. All that stuff he gave was not. That's not leading people to where they need to be. Give him a clue.
I'll type a clue in the chat, Dean, and you can decide. I don't want to ruin the game.
Okay,
but I got it. It's probably too obvious, but
you know what? It's moot now because we have a winner. Casey Douglas got the answer in the Discord channel. We officially do have a winner. So, yeah, we'll discuss it in just a second. Shout out to Casey. We'll get you juiced up with a week free of RG Premium. Chop, your thoughts as far as the Lakers and the Spurs. Another game. I get it's a massive slate, obviously. Another game right now where nobody is getting double-digit ownership.
Yeah.
If you like Anthony Davis, by all means, play him. LeBron, like 2%.
Yeah.
Wemby like 2%. This stuff is going to change a little bit, but I don't think any of those guys are going to be 10, 11, 12, right? So if you like somebody, play him. Do we like anybody here outside of just it'll be fun to watch the game, Chop?
It'll be a good game. Like you said, the ownership isn't high, so you're not losing anything in this game if you don't play them. But man, you can gain because there are three studs now. I'm with on the LeBron can't be this good for that much. At some point he's going to dial it back a little bit. But Anthony Davis, I'm kind of torn on this one. How is Davis and Wemby going to play against each other? Like in a vacuum, going against the other guy with anybody else in the league is very difficult. Like nobody's going to challenge Wemby at the rim. Nobody's going to challenge Davis at the rim where they don't want to. How are they going to play on the same court like that? So maybe they just cancel each other out and it's just this big defensive struggle. So I'm just not on this game as much. But like Beer said, either one of those guys, Davis or Wemby, could absolutely go crazy here and could be the cornerstone of a GPP winning lineup because they've got that kind of upside. And it could be a showcase game, as seeing as how it's kind of high profile. Just LeBron James is the one I'm going to pass on, but those other two studs in this game, they could get you there. I just don't think I'm getting very much of that tonight.
And maybe we get a couple extra minutes because, like you said, showcase game, national TV, get a little bit longer as far as the commercials. Get an extra commercial you got to sneak in there, which may 30 seconds, a minute or so. It certainly doesn't hurt as far as the studs. This is the front half of a back-to-back for the Lakers. They play at New Orleans tomorrow. Revenge game for Davis. Maybe we get LeBron sit. Who knows? New Orleans plays tomorrow as well. So, yeah, I'm running off the teams during the back half. They for the tournament, I think that they set it up where there were no teams that play these Tuesday, Friday games. That's every Tuesday and every Friday for the foreseeable future is the in-season tournament games, if you guys didn't know, with the fun courts and all that. So nobody plays the day before, but we have 5 teams playing tomorrow: Lakers, New Orleans, Sacramento, the Spurs, and Toronto. Okay. Next game, again, we have crunch time coming in about 15 minutes or so. We have 3 games to knock out, plenty of time, and crunch time will touch on Minnesota, Sacramento, Memphis, Golden State where necessary. Melton hurt for Golden State for what it's worth, but they seem to have plenty of players to replace him. They're really, really deep there in Golden State. Phoenix and OKC, just pulled up the injury report on that. Wanted to see if there's anything that changed. Grayson Allen, who was popping earlier today, but the Denver owner, the Denver stuff, I think, has superseded it. He's still questionable with his hammy. Durant, of course, is out for a while. Beal is out as well. So Phoenix is hurting as far as scorers and wings. On the other side, OKC, they were out all their big men, all their centers with Holmgren, Hartenstein. Caruso plays some center. But nothing different as of the last time they played. Chop, Suns, OKC, we know the Thunder are spectacular defensively. SGA is amazing. He's also not going to get very heavily owned. Booker, in theory, like a drop a 50 burger. The matchup's not good, but certainly he'll be putting up his shots. Also should note that Nurkic is not on the injury report. He's been dealing with a leg or a heel, some body part, but he's now officially off. Thoughts here, Chop? Suns, Thunder?
Yeah, would be a really good real life game if everybody was healthy. I'd love to see these guys square up in a playoff series down the road healthy. But this isn't it tonight with all these injuries. We're just missing too much, especially from the Phoenix side. Takes away any kind of counter punch they would have to that Oklahoma City defense. That hurts, man. So because of that defense and because Phoenix doesn't have their full complement of weapons, in which I would pick one of those guys, if they're all healthy, to maybe be able to exploit the defense. I can't take Booker by himself out there, so I'm probably not on that side very much. Maybe Nurkic, because we are dealing with a much smaller front court now for OKC, so maybe he has a little something, but chances are they probably run him off the court pretty quick. That's the chance you take in GPPs and what the coach is going to do with that. So, but on the flip side there, well, maybe Grayson Allen can get there. He's only 3,700, and he's going to have a lot of green light tonight. What's that?
He's got to score. He's going
to have the green light. They needed that 3-point shot from him tonight. So he's probably pretty good at that price tag. On the other side over there, Aaron Wiggins in play. I think Lou Dort a little bit. Isaiah Joe a little bit less, but they're all cheap enough to where I think you can put one of them on your roster and one of them could have a pretty decent game here. And then the two big dogs, Jalen and SGA, I think. Jalen, he's got the more attractive price tag, so I'll probably lean towards him and hope that he can absolutely abuse Nurkic up and down the court.
Okogie had like the game of his life last time out, 10 for 15 for Phoenix, put up 25 real points in the bucket. I would not expect that to repeat, but more of a defensive guy, classic 3-and-D. But they do need somebody like that to step up in the Phoenix side. And I was watching the Clippers in OKC, and Zubac has like 5 or 6 inches on everybody on the Thunder. And it was just funny to watch Caruso, like they're trying to front him. And eventually the Clippers figured out, oh, wait, yeah, once Zubac gets the ball in deep, like nobody can touch him. I'm curious, like you said, Chop, maybe we get Nurkic put up the court, or maybe he just bullies his way whenever he's out there and just gets a bunch of points and boards. OKC, not a great rebounding team as is, and they're even worse without Holmgren. Beer, what do we have? Suns, OKC.
So I absolutely love Jalen Williams in this spot. Like Chop mentioned, it's the price difference. I mean, you can always make a case for SGA. 10-7, I would think I'd rather go to Wemby a little bit more. Trae Young, maybe save some money there. So Williams, the guy for me on that side. That's probably about it for OKC. Don't hate some of the value guys chopped throughout, last piece type of thing. Phoenix side, I want to play Devin Booker, but not at 9,700. And I understand the upside, but that price is getting up there, and I know why they did it. Just a little bit too expensive for me in that one. I do like Nurkic in the spot. If he can stay in the game, should dominate on the glass here. OKC going to come in undersized in this game. And then the value. If Grayson Allen is in, I think he's a solid play. If not, Okogie's not going to do what he did last time out, like you mentioned, but cheap guy that's going to see a lot of minutes here, even in a tough matchup. I think one of those guys, I prefer Allen, but if he's out, I think Okogie enters the equation as one of the better values on the slate.
By the way, for those that were asking or curious, wondering how we got to the answer on Film Friday, the first clue was sit. In this movie, famously, it's one of the, you sit on something in the movie, and it actually ended up being the downfall of this particular character. Luck, this character was Irish. Infant, another word for an infant is a baby. Cash, another word for cash is dollar. We were talking about boxing earlier. Tyson, I guess boxing, I don't know. There will be an exhibition of some sort. Tyson takes on Jake Paul. By the way, 47% of people in our chat right now, according to our poll, think Tyson's going to win. 29% think Paul's going to win. And 24% are just not watching. So there's our scientific poll. But yeah, $1 Million Baby is your movie. That's how we got to it, Beer. Do you remember the moment it clicked, Beer? Was it clue number 3 or clue number 4? I don't recall now. Was it Infant that did it?
It took me to 4. 3, I was kind of thinking that. I figured you tied it into boxing with the boxing talk in the beginning. So it wasn't quite sure until number 4, and then it hit. The light bulb came on.
Yeah, I didn't want to give like the most obvious boxing movie, but definitely one that people could get. Okay. Before we talk about Denver and New Orleans, we have to knock out the revenge game for James Harden. I think this is, they're running this back from a couple days ago. Like James Harden's been doing his thing in Houston for the past couple days. He's also 2 or 3 3-pointers all time as far as tying second. Ray Allen. He's never going to catch Curry, I don't think. But yeah, shout out to him. The Rockets and the Clippers. We saw Amen Thompson just keep doing his thing. He's spectacular on this team. Whenever anybody's out, even when nobody's out, he still finds his way on the court because he's too good to bench for too long here, Chop. Yeah, the Clippers and the Rockets, Chop, are 215s a total, not very appealing. Rockets are 5-point favorites. To me, this game is kind of a stinker. Is it not? How do you feel about it?
Nice. Is this one of those in-season tournament games?
They all are. Every single one.
They all are tonight. Yep. Okay. Yeah, they need to. I don't mind the different court they do, but they need to kind of get a little bit of a control on it. Those things, some of them are hideous to look at all game long.
It's tough to watch. Some of the games I'm like looking at, like I can't even. Some look awesome. Some it's too much. I agree.
Yeah, but
I like them, but that's.
I mean, I like a different type of court, but some of them are just they're rough, Dean. But this is as far as a DFS thing here. Maybe a Chris Dunn because of the price tag. I don't know that I'm going to spend up in this game on anybody. Harden for sure not, for a lot of reasons, and some of them we talked about on Wednesday, but not Harden. So Chris Dunn cheap enough. With everybody being healthy for Houston, it's tough to get to those guys. Tari Eason and Amin Thompson are now being branded, Dean, as the Terror Twins. So we got that going for us down in H-Town,
I like that. It's pretty good. No, that wasn't you or Kirkwood. Somebody else did that. That wasn't your work.
No, that's no. What does that
You've
even mean?
taken false credit before, is why I'm asking.
No.
Go ahead,
No, sir. No. That's erroneous. No. They're really good defenders, and so they kind of change momentum when they're both on the court and they get out there and they start doing that stuff. So, but they're all healthy, so I'm not really into this game too much on that side. Like I said, Chris Dunn is probably the only one. I mean, if you really want to take a shot on Zubac, I won't. But if you want to take a shot on Zubac and hope he can kind of – actually, the weird thing is I don't think Şengün is necessarily a good defender. He has improved. He's actually like in the top 15 this year of what is that one defensive metric? I don't know, individual defensive metric. He's in the top 15. He's improved his game, but I think he could still probably.
So Hollinger, is that you're talking about? Like Hezmet?
I think it's some sort of defensive individual efficiency stat. But yeah, there's
some of them on the screen, by the way, Chop. There's some of the courts I dropped it to Steve. There's more. Those are 4 of the 12, but I don't know if any of those pop for you.
Pop for me? I don't like. I can't even. No. I'd have to sit down there on the TV and start looking at it. Like I was watching it. I was watching a game the other day, the Philly game, and my wife walked by the TV and goes, "What the hell are they playing on?" Like she was taken aback, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right. These are kind of ugly. Some of them are, but." Yeah, Chris Dunn, that's about it in this game. So, and he is what he is. This game, yeah, you're right. Not all that appealing.
Bear, you got anything that's worth noting in this game? We probably should just move on to Denver, unless you really like something. I don't want to stop you. Anything you want to sell me?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I do like the value on Dunn here. I wanted to ask Chop, is Eason what they thought Jabari Smith was going to be? So he's kind of stepped in and taking that role. So I think he's still interesting, probably a little bit too cheap. And I do like Şengün. Good matchup here. Zubac, improved defender, but they have struggled with centers. Had a decent game against them the other night. I think he's a guy to go for 50. I still feel like he's a little bit underpriced. So mainly Dunn, Şengün, and a little bit of Eason for me.
Chop, did you have an answer for that? I thought it was Jason Tate. I thought Eason was who they wanted Jason Tate to be.
I don't even know where did Jason. We had this conversation last time. He wasn't even drafted till the second round. Like Eason was a first rounder, so just.
But he's like a really good version of Tate. That's the way I see him. But maybe
they're different players. Eason and Jabari. I expected bigger things out of Jabari. I mean, but you're not going to hit on all your draft. I wouldn't say that. He just hasn't improved. He's just staying the same, and that's not good. But. Not everybody that you like. That's obvious that you can't nail all those. The top 5 in the NBA draft throughout the years is littered with a bunch of busts. So there's a bunch of busts. If you can grab a guy, if he can be a rotation player on a good team, that's fine. That's all. That's what I would hope for right now for Jabari. Or we trade him as a deal, part of a package deal for Giannis. If you want to go for that one,
I knew you were going there. Get out of here.
But Eason, I swear, and then I got the Discord notes in the private chat to prove it. On draft night, I was like, man, if Eason falls to us with the next pick, and this will make the draft. I'll be happy for that one. And he did. He had the game come out of college, and he's even better than I expected. But he's got the defense. He's aggressive. He can shoot a 3-pointer, good for his size. He can draw fouls and hit free throws. You can't just draw fouls like Shaq. You need to be able to hit them. He can hit them at a 75 to 80% clip. He's everything, man. I think he's the one guy where if you said, we're going to put together a package for Giannis and it's going to include Eason, I would do a double take and say, wow, what else is in I would say, what else is involved?
Come on.
What else is involved?
Ridiculous.
What else is involved?
Something good.
There better be a lot more involved. As much as I like Eason, there better be a whole lot more involved. That's why I'm
saying if you're gonna give away the next 5 years worth of first round picks plus Jalen Green, and we're gonna throw in Tari Eason. No, Tari's not a throw in. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna take a good package for Giannis, but at a certain point, you can't give away the guys who are gonna be key rotation members to a championship team if that's ever going to happen. And I think he's one of them. So now you can have Şengün or Jalen plus some other stuff, but can't lose all the good rotation pieces.
We'll see, Chop. Maybe we'll talk a deal.
The problem with Milwaukee.
Chop, I gotta cut it. I gotta cut it.
No, you ain't gotta cut nothing. The problem
we gotta talk about Denver. This is the
problem with Milwaukee was Chris Middleton could just never stay healthy. If he would have been the number 2 to Giannis, they would have won another championship. I guarantee it.
Agreed.
This is where totals can lie to you. Denver, New Orleans, just a 218 total. Denver, a 3-point favorite here in New Orleans, but the Joker being out, in addition to Gordon being out, we're currently projecting Jamal, Brown, MPJ, Peyton Watson, and Zeke Naji to start. That's fragile, but you got to put somebody in there, and it could be Westbrook could start, Strother could start, DeAndre Jordan could start, Dario Saric maybe could start in that 5 spot. Who knows? Who knows who's going to start there? But really, the main guys, Murray, MPJ, Watson, Russ. I'm running some optimal stuff, and like 3, 4, 5 Denver players are landing in them. If you do not put any parameters, of course, New Orleans, they're really depleted as well. But prices have adjusted. Herb's out, no CMC, CJ McCollum, Zion, of course, is out. DeJounte Murray's out. Alvarado's out for a while. Hawkins is out. It's a big old mess. It's just Ingram and a bunch of dudes. Murphy is back, so shout out to him. Brandon Boston's just $10 on Yahoo. If you're playing on Yahoo for some reason, they've yet to get the memo. Boston's a really good Yahoo play. Okay, Beer, Denver, New Orleans. How much Denver is too much Denver?
I think you need at least 3 pieces, and I'm not mad at 4. 5 may be going a bit much on DraftKings, but I certainly understand there's that much usage to go around here. Now it's a matter of which pieces do you want. So one by one, I do like Russell Westbrook. I love the price. I think he's a great play for his all-around game. Jamal Murray, guy, I'm not super excited about the play at 40% ownership tonight. So I'm not telling anyone to avoid him. You want to play Jamal Murray, you go for it. That one makes me a little bit nervous. The Watson play makes me a little bit nervous as well. I understand that he's going to have to play, but we've yet to see any kind of ceiling out of Watson. So cash games, sure, but is he a guy that's going to go out there and blow out his salary? He doesn't need much at 4,600, but we just haven't seen a big game out of him. So I'll avoid him. The guy I don't understand here, Michael Porter Jr., only being 10, 11%. That's the guy that I want to go after. And even Christian Brown under 25%. So Porter, Brown, my favorites, along with Russell Westbrook. Again, not saying don't play Jamal Murray, but that ownership and Peyton Watson, those are the 2 I'll probably avoid here and take my chances. If they beat me, they beat me. Other side, if you watch the 6-packs, Brandon Boston's been in there about 7 times this season. The price just keeps, I think we've finally gotten to a point, probably priced where he should be, so don't mind him in cash games. Does have some upside, but that $10 on Yahoo sounds a whole lot better than the 6,400 over here.
The chat's having a good time with me cutting off Chop. Crunch Time is in the bullpen. They're waiting to jump on here. Chop, I was just trying to keep the show moving. They have us fighting now, and then I guess they're projecting.
Chop wasn't having it. There was a boxing challenge earlier in the chat. If you caught that, some guy was ready to throw down with you.
I don't want to fight anybody. I'm not. That's not me.
What about Siege? What about if Siege came in here and said, "My shoulder's healed. I'm ready to."
Does he have a note?
I'm ready to roll. My shoulders all healed up.
No, I don't want to fight anybody.
All right, good for you, Dean. Good for you.
We have crunch time coming in, Chop, but I want to get your thoughts as far as Denver. And by the way, Beer, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he did or did not, but you basically talked about what I talked about in the survey today. My bold call was Porter outscores Jamal Murray, and I agree. Porter should not be the 4th or 5th guy or so as far as ownership on Denver, and that's one way to be different and not playing Murray. And of course, projections. It's an awesome math play, but I might not do that. We'll see if I have the cojones to not play Murray in my single entry. Go ahead, Chop.
Yeah, just real quick. It's just without Jokic, it's going to be. I understand the point of the Murray not liking him at that ownership, but I would just rather go get over on at that price. It's really cheap, so I'll probably over on that one, but under on Russell probably. And Watson's cheap enough. I don't know, but it's Porter Jr. too. I was going to say the same thing. He's the guy. I'll be way over the field on. He's just in a really, really good spot here tonight without Jokic, and so I can see him continue to crush.
All right. Beard, you have your gut play. Yet you're feeling the gut play for the people.
Şengün. I think he put 60 up tonight.
All right. Oh God, I kept trying to think. What is it's not Milwaukee's best or like Schlitz. What is the main guy in the six pack? What is it called? It's like a terrible beer brand, I think. I can't think of
Milwaukee's best. You were on track with the Beast. Yes.
The Beast. You never drank the Beast in high school?
No, everyone.
No, I didn't drink beer in high school. No.
30 pack, about $8, Dean.
I'm sure it's delicious. Future sponsor of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you see Şengün
one night I had too many Beasts and I lost my class ring. It just slid right off my finger. I don't know what happened there, man.
You never saw it again? That was it?
I never even knew it was missing till some guy returned it. He goes, I got your ring, man. I found it at the fishing hole. And I was like, what?
Too many Beasts will get you, Chop.
Now you know. I didn't even know I lost it. That's 2 months ago. All right.
One Beast.
Yeah, I got you one. Okay, Dean, I'm gonna need this guy to hit some 3-point shots. But if he does, I feel a 50 to 60 burger coming for Tyler Hero.
Okay.
All right. We got Hero, we have Şengün, and we have Crunch Time coming in right now. By the way, we have 197 votes. I don't have to like. If you can vote in the poll, you can hit the like button to do that. 47% think Mike Tyson's winning the fight tonight. 27% think that Jake Paul. And 20%. There you go. Roth, happy Friday. How are things?
Things are good. I thought I was going to win all the money, but now after listening to Beer, we're actually splitting all the money tonight because I have like the exact same thoughts. So I like where I'm at.
Let's go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Svetlana in chat's asking, why is Joker out? Joker had a child, so shout out to him. Yeah, he's not playing basketball this evening, which flips the slate on its head.
No, he didn't. He did not have a child.
No, I thought it was a baby.
No, that was a false. Another show's talked about that.
Okay.
Just want to correct you, Dean. I didn't want you to misinform the people out there.
Well, hopefully things are well in the Joker household. I hope it's nothing serious. But I saw it was personal, and I did see people on Twitter saying child, but okay, I guess that was incorrect. Nonetheless, hopefully things are all well for Joker and for his family. Chop, anything else? We're stepping aside and get out of here. They have a lot to talk about, so we probably should make way. Unless you got anything for the people, Chop? There you go. You're giving the sign. Beer, it was awesome. Hopefully you pop up more. I don't know if this is a one-off, but it was great having you on. Beer took down Film Friday for the very first time, sticking it right in Chop's face, getting the people a week free of RG Premium as well. Shout out to Chop, shout out to Beer, producer Steve. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. Welcome to it. Ladies and gents, you know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Beer still hanging with us. He'll leave. He can stay if he wants.
We need more beer. The RG needs more beer. I'm honest. He did our show. I did a show with Bobby and Noto. He subbed in for Noto. If it was up to me, I would like to have Noto and beer. Beer shipped money that week too. We need more beer on RG. That's
love it, my man. Appreciate that. Always love doing shows with you guys. But I am ducking out. Good luck tonight, everybody.
Later, Beer. I also love in his there we go. We got Taylor back. I love in his six pack when he goes, he's tonight's beast. And
he's got a great voice. Great voice.
It's perfect.
He sounds like Adam Sandler, doesn't he? I feel like he sounds a lot like Adam Sandler to me. I don't know if that's just me.
I'm gonna have to listen for that now. I've never noticed it, but now I'm gonna have to listen. Hey, we got Taylor in the house. We got Kirkwood in the house, and we got a big slate of games. I get to play Şengün. I'm happy. I freaking love my lineup. Kirkwood, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing all right. I can't wait to win a lot of money on Jake Paul later tonight. So
it seems the right bet. I don't want it to be the outcome, but it seems the likely out. If it's a real fight, that's the question.
Can I say a quick story? Can I give a quick story? Even though we got too much time.
I think we got plenty of time.
I was in Vegas a long time ago, and I gotta be quiet because my girl. But I was with my ex-girl at the time, and I was gambling with an Indiana Pacer player outside at the pool at the Hard Rock during rehab, which was a thing. And he's like, "Hey, we hit it off at the blackjack table, because we were winning, so we like became friends." And he was like, "Why don't you come back to my cabana? I got iced tea and Mike Tyson hanging out in there." And I was like, "All right." And so we went there. And he was like, Mike's on tranquilizers. He's like, he's down. And so he was down, right? And all of a sudden, the girl goes at the time, she gave me this face. Mike was standing right behind her. She goes, "He just pinched my ass." And I was like, "What do you want me to do about it?"
Good luck.
Yeah. And we left. We got out of there after a second time of that happening. And so I can't wait for him to lose tonight because of that. It's personal. It's personal.
I feel like most people really hate Jake Paul and want Tyson to win, but you have a personal story that is anti-Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Okay. Now maybe I flip my rooting interests now as well. So I'm on board. I hope Jake Paul knocks him out. We got Taylor Smith in the house as well. Taylor, first off, who you got in the fight?
Well, because of that, I think I have to take Jake Paul too. Like, I can't have a guy out here pinching asses and getting away with it. So it's like ultimate payback.
Man. I knew you'd be on board.
Yeah, Kirkwood is turning the tides here, one person at a time. Can we ask who the Pacer was?
I don't know. He was a former Pacer. He told me his name. I don't even remember.
Oh, okay.
He was like, it was like before, like, I think he played with like Detlef Schrempf or something. Back in those days.
Yeah. All right. Hey, welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. It's crunch time. As we mentioned, too, the sharpest and most entertaining minds in the biz. We got Taylor. Taylor, how are you feeling, man?
Good. It's kind of a chaotic slate. Still waiting on a lot of news, even on DK, FanDuel as well with the 2 extra games, but should be a good one.
It doesn't feel like we have a ton of great value. It doesn't feel like we've got the 4K guys that are dropping 40 plus fantasy points. Taylor, am I wrong? Like, I looked at the tagged guys today and I was like, I don't need them. I don't need them.
Yeah, the big thing is the Jokic one, but that's not opening up like punt value. That's more mid-range stuff. So
right.
Yeah, it's still kind of starsy, scrubsy, I think, but there is a case to be made for the balanced build too, if you want.
Okay, well, we shall see. Let's dive into it. We like to start on FanDuel. Some people talking about Connect, some people talking SAR, but I just want to dive right into it at point guard. And Taylor, you can lead us off with your favorites over on FanDuel.
Yeah, so Emmanuel Quickly's still out for Toronto. So Davion Mitchell's going to start and play big minutes. He's kind of a shaky per minute guy historically, but cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DK. I think he's still a strong value that you're going to want. Otherwise, the Denver stuff, I mean, this alone makes Davion Mitchell certainly not a must play because you do have Murray and Russell Westbrook, both point guard only on FanDuel. We're expecting Russ to play the majority of the minutes that Jokic is vacating, even if he doesn't start necessarily. Murray just going to take all the usage, of course. So very strong plays in a good matchup against New Orleans. Otherwise, I think you're just kind of getting different in tournaments. I think Shea is a really strong high-end play that's not projected to be super popular on this slate. You can take a shot on Halliburton always, but he's like super hit or miss, pretty underwhelming overall. I still like him in tournaments, but not even the greatest spot. On FanDuel, DeMar DeRozan is out for Sacramento, so De'Aaron Fox will look a little bit better. Keon Ellis might see a few more minutes. I guess he's an okay punt if you want that. Steph Curry, Tyler Hero, shooting guard eligible. You're probably playing him at shooting guard if you're playing him, but phenomenal play without Jimmy Butler in there for Miami.
Okay, good stuff. Kirkwood, your thoughts at point guard. And Russ is my guy tonight. Am I wrong? I feel like he's getting a near triple-double tonight.
Very well could be, and he's also a sneaky pick play to actually start in this game. And if they want to go small, that's still on the table potentially. I would think for them to, not start. Yeah, we don't know what they're going to start the center position, but they might just start none of them. So, I like that call. Were we talking FanDuel? Sorry.
Yeah. We're still on FanDuel.
Yeah. Jamal Murray. I mean, so there's just massive usage. So who on this team is going to be, filling that role that Joker, has. So it's going to have to be Murray. He's going to have to run the offense, and he's also going to have to create a ton and shoot a ton. So he's the number one play. You know, with Butler out, Terry Rozier, and just huge minutes. He's played terribly so far recently, but could do well in this matchup. Davion Mitchell is cheap for a starting point guard against Detroit. And also Keon Ellis, as Taylor mentioned. Halliburton, I like. Now, he's been like hit or miss. He's like been extremely erratic and more so bad than good. But I believe in this kid. You know, he just has to start making a couple shots. And I think the ceiling is absolutely there for him. So, you know, it's not the best matchup with Miami, but could be fine. Chris Dunn is playing very well and earned himself into the starting lineup against the Rockets. Not a great matchup, but he's fine. And then maybe Hero or De'Aaron Fox. You know what? One of my favorite stars tonight, is Trae Young. This Atlanta-Washington game is going to be absolutely ridiculous. 238.5 point total. If it stays close, you know, both of these teams play so fast. They're so poor on defense. They both give up tons of steals. Atlanta is like dead last for threes, and Washington's like 24th for threes. Opponent made threes per game. So this is a game where like Trae Young could absolutely go off and
love that. Yeah, I'm on board with that. The Davion Mitchell thing, he played 33 minutes last game. He took 2 shots. He scored 1 point. I can't roster a dude who takes 2 shots in 33 minutes.
It's rough. He had a great stretch too going, and his last 3 have been absolutely horrendous. But yeah, it's so you're right. When you came in, you said you don't have this like really super feel good cheap value that you know we got with like the Bucks, all the guys out the last time I was on the show with you. When Wemby went off and still wasn't good enough for Giannis. I think we all said Giannis, Wemby, and Cat. And they all had the absolute massive ceiling games. What a slate that was.
It was. I dropped 420 points in one of my tournaments, which was not enough to even come close to winning, but it was damn fun. You know, I won some money and it was very fun to drop 420. Okay, good stuff. I love it. Take me to shooting guard, Kirkwood.
Yeah, shooting guard. Kevin Huerter is in play again. Just, you know, with people out in this Sacramento, and he played 37 minutes the other night. He was awesome against Phoenix, 44 fantasy points. Also, Keon Ellis, same situation, and Terry Rozier, as we talked about. And then I do like Halliburton, like I said. I do like Chris Dunn here. It's all the same names. What did it just say about Jaden Ivey? Is he in?
He's in officially, yes.
Okay. So he's a good play. It's 63. He's 6,300. He absolutely could do really well against Toronto here. So I don't mind him. I like Trey Murphy, kind of, you know, just in this Pelican situation with everybody out. He's a proven scorer in the past. His minutes are starting to creep up, so I like him. I would stay away. You know, the funny thing is, Grayson Allen is like questionable to play. I don't even know.
He's out. We just got that he's out too. Yeah.
Good. Well, I was going to say fade him anyway, even if he was in, because it just seemed like he was going to be chalk.
So enlighten me. There were 2 guys out, and so we were considering playing Grayson Allen, and now he is out. So is there someone new that kind of leapfrogs into that spot that maybe we do want or are interested in?
So we're still waiting on. So did they tell Nurkic too?
Nurk's in, yeah.
Okay.
Cody, maybe the cheap guy, or Ryan Dunn. Like they're pretty thin without Beal and KD also. So I guess Kogi would be the guy. I think he's small forward only on FanDuel. I think he
went off the other night.
Yeah.
He's probably the guy, but again, these aren't feel good plays.
Yeah, the matchup's like the worst possible matchup against OKC, so it's not an exciting thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's probably going to take more than 2 shots, like your boy Davion. All right, Taylor, what do you like there at shooting guard?
Yeah, so you can play Halliburton here also. I think that's useful on FanDuel in particular. Grady Dick and Bilal Coulibaly, a couple of my favorite mid-range kind of cheapies here. Dick getting usage without quickly. Coulibaly just playing well, and he's in that game against Atlanta with the super high total. I think he's going to go overlooked a little bit. Malik Beasley is still playable. He's only 4'9" and starting. Ivy's back, but they're still without Fontecchio and Tim Hardaway Jr. So I think he's an okay value against Toronto. A great matchup for him. Otherwise, I agree. Devin Booker on FanDuel is cheaper than he is on DK, which is always interesting. But again, Phoenix has the worst matchup possible. So it's not something I'm still dying to do on this slate.
Yeah. Okay. Take me to small forward.
Yeah, so I mentioned Okogie you can play here. Ryan Dunn also. They're both small forward only. Certainly not playing them both on FanDuel. Herter's fine. Shooting guard, small forward. I think it's a good spot for LeBron if you want to pay all the way up against San Antonio. We'll see who starts for Rui. I think we have Dalton Connect projected to start. Not sure what kind of role he's going to have. He played really well in the last game, but not sold on him as a great per minute guy or a great play. We'll see what happens. Michael Porter Jr. is going to be great. Franz Wagner looks great, even though his salary's come up a little bit. A huge role without Banchero. This kind of looks like if you're not punting with Okogie or Dunn, you're probably just paying up. Someone like LeBron, Wagner, Porter, Brandon Ingram's okay. Barrett, Jalen Williams, you can play at small forward on FanDuel. It's a pretty decent position to spend money at, I think.
Okay, good stuff. Kirkwood, your thoughts on small forward?
Yeah, I do like Brandon Ingram. He's been awful, but this is a much better matchup than it should be now. You know, the Denver defense should be pretty poor in this spot without Joker to hold it down and without Aaron Gordon, who they've been missing for a while. So I think it's finally time for Brandon Ingram to absorb the usage and you know, play pretty well. So I'm on board with him. I like the Jalen Williams call too. I think he's awesome. I think Jalen Johnson is an awesome play. I love anybody in this Atlanta-Washington game. You could play RJ Barrett. You could play Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, guys like that. Trey Murphy, as I already mentioned. I don't think I mentioned Benedict Mathurin, but probably a tougher matchup than he's had recently. But like, he's just been so good and just been playing so many minutes. And if you're not playing Halliburton, I think one of those guys is definitely going to have a good game, whether it's Halliburton or Mathurin. So, you know, don't play them together. But if you have one of them, if you're not playing one of them, play the other. Is what.
Okay. Just got some news from our guy Tasteful Tides. Mobley is out. I don't know if we were assuming that already.
No.
Taylor, you gave a wry smile. What's up?
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to have to adjust everything again for the Evan Mobley stuff, but now it's going to open up some things, I assume. Maybe not cheap stuff, though. Like, it's going to be more Garland and Mitchell and Allen, I think. I'm not really excited to play, like, George Niang or Dean Wade or someone like that, but we'll see what they do with the lineup.
So anytime Mobley is out, I want to play Allen, or if Allen's out, I want to play Mobley. Is that the immediate pivot that you think of, Kirkwood?
Yeah, but I think the guy that's probably going to benefit from minutes the most is going to be Karis LeVert. And this is a good matchup against the Bulls. We've been talking about the Bulls every slate, how they're playing, you know, fast and just poor defense right now. So, and LeVert's a scorer. So, and, you know, Mobley is a scorer for this team. You know, Garland and Mitchell would probably be my first choice, like one of those guys. Jared Allen, obviously, too, even though he's had some stinkers, but this should be a good spot for him. Then the guy that I don't think everyone's going to think about is going to be LeVert.
Okay, good stuff. Any other thoughts at power forward? I kind of cut you off with that news, I think, Chris.
Where did I? All right. So I think Sar, as I said, anyone's a good play to me in this Atlanta-Washington game. But Sar, so Atlanta leaves the 3-point line, and they're dead last in allowing threes. And Alexander Sar is a big who shoots the three. He's going to chuck. And I think he could be a really sneaky play tonight in that game. But and then we should mention AD or LeBron too as well.
Yeah. Okay. Taylor, you got some names there at power forward for me?
Yeah, on FanDuel, you can play Jared Allen here, which is helpful. I assume he's going to project quite a bit better, should have more rebounding upside without Mobley. And the matchup against the Bulls is awesome. So I think he's going to be a strong play. Going back to shooting guard, small forward, I do think LeVert's going to be a good value as well, like Kirkwood said. But Otherwise, Wemby you can play a little expensive, but maybe not going to be super popular. Power forward eligibility helps him too. The cheapies are Peyton Watson and Andrew Wiggins. Melton is out for Golden State, so Wiggins looks like a decent value in the mid-range. Watson without Gordon and Jokic is going to have a huge role. AD I like as a pay up. I think you can play LeBron here. Yeah. I think I slightly prefer LeBron, but on FanDuel, AD always has the extra block steal scoring upside, so that's okay. And then Jaren Jackson, if Bane is out on FanDuel, is going to be a pretty interesting late night kind of play.
Okay, good stuff. Take me to the center spot.
Yeah, so Allen you can play here. AD, Wemby you can play here. Bam Adebayo's he was the chalk. I assume he will still be popular against Indiana without Butler. I don't mind Pirtle. He's always played more minutes, it seems, without Quickly, and the matchup against Detroit is excellent for a big. On the flip side, I think Duran's a really strong mid-range value on the other side of that game. Toronto just awful against centers. Ditto for Capella against the Wizards, who get mashed by bigs every single night. The minutes for him are sketchy, but he's cheap, so I think that's okay. Karl Anthony Towns, I don't think we have the news yet, but if he's in, the Nets are without all their centers, so I don't think anyone can really handle him on the Brooklyn side. So Towns, if he's in, is a terrific play once again. And then Nurk, I think you can play now that we know he's in, under 6K against OKC, who's the worst rebounding team in the NBA. I think he's a really strong tournament play as well.
Okay, very good. Kirkwood, you got a few names for me there? Center?
I think you're muted.
Sorry, I had a kid in here. That's sorry, that's terrible. That's like Dean. Bam Adebayo looks too cheap at 7,900 against the Pacers. Draymond Green, I don't mind, but he's more of like a floor play than a ceiling play. But at least he could do all right with FanDuel scoring. I already mentioned Alexander Sarr. I like him a lot. I like Nurk now that he's in. I like Miles Turner. I like Jalen Duran, and I like Jared Allen. And Cat, like Taylor said, Cat is too cheap for his role, especially on DraftKings. It's a little higher on FanDuel, but no one's going to be able to hang with him tonight as long as he's healthy. He banged knees the other night, but I think he'll be okay.
Okay. I want to kick things over to DK and talk about the build over there. I've been just pushing in lineups because I'm hot. And when I'm hot, I just keep more lineups. But, I'm looking for the value. DFS is all about value. If you're looking for value, you get it right here, RotoGrinders. Busiest time of the sports calendar. Perfect time to sign up for RG Combo. For a limited time, get your first month of combo access for $79.99. That's just $5 more than our NBA premium product. And you get everything else that comes along with it. So make sure you're signing up for that. Do not pass up that fantastic value. With that, let's get into DK. And Kirkwood, I will let you start at point guard.
Okay. 1 second. Point guard. From Jamal Murray, again, cheaper on DK. Get the bonuses there too. So, I think you got to play him tonight. Halliburton is a little bit more expensive. I already talked about how I like him. I think once the shots start falling, he's going to blow through and have a massive game one of these nights. Donovan Mitchell now with Mobley out, just more offensive responsibility. Brandon Ingram, and I love Trae Young, as I mentioned before. So I both sides, I love them. Russell Westbrook, like you were talking about, Roth, he's definitely in play. He's 5,200. Easy play, right, Roth? 52. Yeah. Plug him right in.
Please. He's going for 40. Okay, good stuff. Taylor, what do you got there at point guard? By the way, I love the Trae Young call so much that I'm pushing in another lineup. And I'm jamming in Trae Young. So I like that. Taylor, what do you got?
Yeah, it's probably the most stacked position. So Murray and Russ are going to take up a lot of spots, point guard and guard on the slate. You can play Murray at shooting guard, so that helps. Love the Donovan Mitchell thing now. Karis LeVert has point guard and shooting guard eligibility. He's going to be an excellent play at 5K flat. I haven't seen the projections if they've updated, but I assume he's going to be looking pretty good once they do. I think Halliburton and SGA, just like on FanDuel, are awesome tournament plays on DK. I think Jared McCain is okay if you want someone in this in the Russ price range who's a little bit more expensive, but he's had a role with Maxey out. Not going to get 50 again like he did the other night with the other guys out, but still has a role. The minute should be there, and he's a little bit underpriced.
Okay. Kirkwood, you already gave me a point guard, so never mind. Taylor, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, a lot of the same stuff. Murray, Hero, didn't mention at point guard, but I love him on this slate. Isaiah Joe is an okay cheap play. Chris Dunn started for the Clippers in the last game, should be starting again tonight, I would think. You can play Mitchell, you can play McCain, LeVert. Isaiah Joe is okay for OKC. Without Chet, he's been playing a little bit more lately. I think that's fine. And I guess in a tournament, Brandon Ingram's fine, but he's been pretty underwhelming lately.
Okay. Kirkwood, your thoughts at shooting guard?
Yeah, same guys, but it's Jamal Murray, it's Donovan Mitchell, two clear, strong plays. Brandon Ingram, I like a little bit more. I think he's going to get it going here in this matchup specifically. But, I wouldn't be shocked if he tanks my lineup at the same time. So, but I really feel strongly he's going to have a good game tonight. Benedict Mathurin, I already mentioned him. Just playing big minutes. His role is just awesome, and he gets buckets. Zach LaVine, Jaden Ivey is cheap enough at 6,500. Can get a little ownership, but not too much. Karis LeVert, as I mentioned, he's kind of the sneaky guy. And if you need a run back in the Atlanta game, I mean, Jordan Poole certainly can play for 7,400.
Okay. I got 5,200 here. I'm in the util, Kirkwood. Hunter or Westbrook?
Oh, Westbrook. Hunter's not right yet. Until he proves like he can actually play big minutes, like take Russ.
Okay. Noted. I think that brings us to small forward, although I'll be honest, I've just been building lineups and not doing a good job hosting. Kirkwood, are we at small forward?
Yes, we are, Roth. So let me pull it up. Small forward. Okay. Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be needed to create offense. All these guys are going to need to pick it up. He's one that can probably do it better than some of the other guys. So I feel like his floor is safe enough, and I think there's a good ceiling there with him. So I like him. I like LeBron James after what he's been doing lately as one of the studs. I like Benedict Mathurin, as I've been saying. Zach LaVine, RJ Barrett, 8,100. Trey Murphy, like I said, the minutes have been creeping up. We're on DK now, so he's a guy who can really shoot the three and get those 3-point bonuses. 5,600, so is very playable. And then Julian Strother, we should mention, for 3,500. Should get minutes tonight, and he's a guy that can create offense too as well. He was a big summer league guy. Won't be too high owned, but he will definitely have some ownership. I like him better than Christian Braun. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Those are the small forward.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Taylor, what do you like over small forward?
Yeah, MPJ is an awesome play. LeBron I like quite a bit. Trey Murphy is a decent value for New Orleans. Wagner is a pay up. Maybe not going to be super popular, pushing 9K, but he's been outstanding. Amen Thompson and Tari Eason are playing big minutes off the bench. I think they're interesting in tournaments. Amen Thompson is they've basically said he's going to see more minutes if he's playing well, and he plays well every night. So
yeah,
don't mind that. George Niang is starting for Cleveland instead of Mobley. So he's 3-1, not a great per minute guy, but Bulls are a great matchup. He's just super cheap, and we don't have a lot of punt stuff on this slate, so I think he's okay. And then Connect is starting for Rui, and he's 3-9. I think that's fine too.
Ooh, I didn't realize he was 3-9. I'm going to have to make another lineup. Taylor, what are we doing at power forward?
Yeah, so Watson's power forward only. Tobias Harris is power forward only. I don't love that with Ivy back, but it's fine against Toronto. Kogie's power forward only, also cheap, should be playing a big role with all the Suns injuries. I think he's a decent option. Niang I don't know if you can play Connect. I think you can play Niang here. I'm not sure about Connect. I'm stalling. Connect is shooting guard, small forward, so not power forward. You can pay up. LeBron, I think, is fine. Also at power forward, Boucher is like a super deep tournament flyer. He's been playing a little bit more with quickly out. Good per minute guy. The matchup with the Pistons is good, so I don't mind some darts with him.
Okay, very good. Kirkwood, your thoughts on power forward?
Yep. Michael Porter Jr. Or Peyton Watson for Denver. Like them both. Totally fine to play them both together. LeBron James, like what he's been doing. Triple doubles. Let's see. Jalen Johnson, I love. 8,900. It's crazy that we're paying that for him these days, but he's earned every cent of it. Tobias Harris is in play for kind of just like that 6,200 mid-range play that should be fine against Toronto, because Toronto's is a good matchup for him. I'm not high on Niang, but you can play him. He's 3,100, so and starting. That's all I can really say about him. Okogie for Phoenix with a bunch of guys out is fine at 3,800. These are the punts if you need them. And then it's the same guys that I've been saying, Trey Murphy, and I think Pascal Siakam you can play, if I can say that.
Okay, take me to center, please.
Alrighty. Center. Okay. Cat, 9,100. Great, better play on DK than on FanDuel. Good play on both. Who's going to stop him? Anthony Davis, just matchup against the Spurs looks like a really good spot. Him and Wemby, fun game to watch. Bam Adebayo is too cheap at 8,200. Jared Allen, 6,800, looks like a smash. Jalen Williams, 8,300 against Phoenix in this OKC game. Jalen Duran, Jakob Poeltl, or Miles Turner.
Okay. And Taylor, I might have jumped in too early. I don't know if you went through power forward. If you did, great.
I did.
Okay, great. Then just take me through your plays at center.
Most of the same guys. Karl Anthony Towns, if he's in. I still haven't seen that news, but love him tonight if he plays. Bam, Duran, Capella is fine. Poeltl in the mid-range. AD and Wemby all the way up, and then Nurk in the mid-range is another guy I have my eye on today.
Okay, very good. Guys, we've got about 7-8 minutes until lock. We want to make sure that you hit us with the thumbs up. This is free content, and if I do say so myself, it is some pretty fantastic free content as well. And make sure you're signing up for Splash Sports. By now, you've probably heard us talking about it a little bit, one of the fastest growing peer-to-peer gaming platforms in the US and Canada. And we have an exclusive offer for those who haven't signed up and tried their newest quick picks game. It's similar to DFS Pick'em games. You build an entry, 2, 3, 4 picks, choose either more or less, and then receive a payout of 3x, 6x, or 12x, depending on how many you get right. From now through November 17th, new users who sign up using promo code ROTO10 will receive 20% of all quick picks entry fees in November back as playable bonuses on December 1st. That's an interesting bonus. Bonus maxes out at $1,000, and it is one of the most significant rake-back offers we've seen in years in DFS. It is only available for those using promo code ROTO10 at sign up. Check the link in the description for more details. Again, that is Splash Sports, and we're happy to partner with them. We have 6 minutes until lock. We want to get to some QQs. So let's see what we've got. A lot of them. So let's dive into it. Scrolling up just a little bit, D-Rock says, Taylor, DKGPP, rank your Denver guys.
So it's going to be Murray, MPJ, Russ, and then after that, kind of a gap between Watson, Brown, and Strother.
Okay. Alex says, DK Cash Core who? And maybe that's a particular question. Taylor, you got a cash core for me or no?
So Murray, obviously, Russ for sure. I still haven't seen the Cavs stuff, but probably Jared Allen, perhaps. Yeah, that's probably, it's the Nuggets guys mainly. That's the primary thing you're looking at.
Yeah. Okay. DKGPP, Kirkwood, let's see. Do you like any of these in DKGPPs? Duran, Mitchell, Young. I know you love Trae Young. So I can answer that one.
And I like all of them. So wait, was that just any? That was just. Do I like any of those 3 guys?
That's what it was. Do you like any of those dudes?
I like them all. They're all different price though.
Yeah.
I like all of them, but Trae Young is my PPP guy tonight.
Do what I do and either get them all in or build 3 different lineups and get them in one way or another. Falcor says, Kirkwood, FanDuel single entry. Would you play Rozier and Hero in the same lineup? Also, would you play whoever projects at Denver for center, or is that bad value? I want to follow up on that. Let's start with, would you play Rozier and Hero in the same lineup?
I think you can because they're both. I mean, because Rozier is so cheap. I don't think I don't. I would prefer not playing them together, but I think it's still playable. So I wouldn't ruin my lineup if you had. Both.
Okay, and then the other question was, if we get a center starting for Denver, and we don't know what they're doing, maybe they're going small, maybe they're going big. Can we just play whoever that is, whoever the 5 is for Denver? Taylor, Kirkwood, sure.
Sorry. No, go ahead. It's going to be really thin regardless, but because you're talking about Dario Saric, I would probably feel most comfortable if it was Dario Saric, but it could be Zeke Naji, it could be DeAndre Jordan. It's like, and I think this game's going to go small, so I'd be a little scared.
They're playing the Pelicans. Yeah, the Pelicans don't really have a center to begin with, so that they'll play Misi and stuff, but I don't think he's going to really punish them. So if a center starts, I think you can roll the dice in a tournament, but I would not feel very good about it.
Okay, great answer. Kirkwood, why haven't you streaked the Garden yet? It's coming.
It's strictly a Fenway proposal that I've been talking about this season. I will not. It's a lot harder to pull off in.
Yeah.
You need outside. You need a lot of space.
Yeah, because you could escape.
Plus, you got to slide to home. That's the whole key: is the head first slide to home before you get arrested.
And well, do you plan on escaping? Because in baseball, you can get back into the crowd and get out.
I'm not fast enough. I'm not fast, so I'm gonna get caught, but I'm gonna live it up while I.
Yeah, it's
Towns
good. You know your
out,
limits.
by the way. We just got
who is
Karl
it?
Anthony Towns is out.
He's out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay, and McBride is out. So Towns and McBride are out with Cat out. Are we just going to Brunson?
Burner, yeah.
Yeah.
But Hart is a better play for sure.
Yeah, Hart's gonna get 15 boards now. Oh, buddy. Is this game in 3 minutes?
It's in 33 minutes.
Okay. Then I'm gonna figure that out and after 3 minutes. I don't have the bandwidth for that. Okay, we've got 2 minutes until lock. Let's see what else we've got here. 4,100 left, Taylor, for guard in my lineup. In a DK large field tournament, I'm leaning towards Noel. Any thoughts or better suggestions?
I think Noel's okay. He should play the same role he did the other night off the bench, and there should be usage for him, so I don't hate that.
Okay, Taylor, I want to get back to this. Cat is out. McBride is out. Obviously, we talked about the Brunson burner. We talked about my boy Josh Hart, triple-double incoming. Any other plays, maybe a big that we're interested in?
It would probably be Sims, but I don't know. I don't feel great about that. This might be another situation where they go kind of small. Guys like Bridges and Anunoby are also going to see usage boosts, I would think, without Towns. I think the team goes from being pretty much not on my radar with Towns to being super interesting without him.
Yeah, agreed. Kirkwood, any changes or pivots that you're making now to jam in more Knicks?
What I'm doing is I'm taking anyone out of like these 7 o'clock games, and I'm just figure it out in the next half an hour.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. We are less than 2 minutes until lock. See if we've got any questions here. Mabs says, Taylor, do you know who gets run off the bench for New York if the game goes small?
Well, it would have been McBride, but he's out. Maybe Campaign. I think we saw that he's now playing. It's not very exciting with Brunson in. I would still think the usage is going to go through Brunson, Bridges, and Anunoby before the spare guys off the bench. Jericho Sims will start, so I don't think that's exciting, but I assume he's like min salary, so I guess he's probably in play.
Okay, that sounds kind of good to me. Let's see. What about Clowney on the Nets? Is this a real person? Clowney?
Yeah, they like Claxton's out, so Clowney might start at center, or Simmons might start at center. They don't have to give him minutes. I think that's pretty thin.
Yeah. All right. We are just seconds away from the lock here, and I believe we have answered just about all the questions that we've got. Following lock, I'm going to jam in some Brunson lineups. That way I can get Brunson, Şengün, and Wemby, all my favorite players, all together tonight. And we have hit the lock. So we're going to bounce on out of here for Kirkwood and for Taylor and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been great.